All right, so I'll probably get 8 up for form and everything else, but kind of just wanted to take a couple of pop shots. First with the 80-pound Hoyt RX8 Ultra. I'm still toying with this. I have it turned down now, probably to like a, let's say, probably 72, 73 pounds. I have to say, super smooth draw. That's one of the best things about this bow. This has been my hunting bow for the last few seasons, and I don't think I can ever get rid of it. It's just a great all-around bow, but also just kind of wanted to gauge my draw cycle coming from this bow at 72 pounds. I usually shot it between 78 and 80 for hunting scenarios. I got probably my biggest elk with this bow at 78 pounds, and you know, the draw has just been super smooth at my draw length, which is about 29 and a half. But I'm just gonna do a couple of quick shots, make sure I'm sort of on. Should be right at about 20 yards. But so yeah, and with that turned down, it's like astronomically smooth compared to when it's turned all the way up, and it's still just a phenomenal shooter. I'm just trying out some different arrows. This thing is pumping them out. I usually shoot probably about 450 grains. I've been messing with some of these 4-fletch configurations, and I just love the way they fly, like out at the range or otherwise, and in the field. I don't know, I just feel like with a fixed broadhead, it's just super consistent. And so far I've probably, you know, Robin Hooded more arrows with this configuration than I have in any other configuration, and I just enjoy it. It just shoots super consistent. Right now I have it turned down because I'm shooting indoor, and I'm having a good time just shooting indoor with that little bit lighter poundage. It still keeps me kind of in shape as far as draw cycles and everything like that. But and then I have the RX10 Ultra that I'm setting up. I put the new HHA on it. I'm gonna just check this thing out real quick. Draw cycle is a little bit different, that's for sure. I would say it's not harsher, but I do think that there's a different draw force curve that typically wouldn't feel so bad. But I have it now at like 75 pounds, and I kind of want to see how the consistency is just shooting these arrows. I'll probably have to change, because right now the spine that I'm shooting is not really living up to the hype that I wanted, but I'm gonna have to mess with it a fair bit to get what I want out of it. I'm also shooting a Luminoc, or well, these ones are probably either Luminoc or Nocturnals. I can't remember which ones I put on this one, but I'm just playing with some different configurations. I'm trying to get kind of the lightest arrow I can find, and I think these ones are setting up at like 480 grains all in, with a lighted knock, which isn't great. I'd like to be a little bit lower, but I'm still messing with it. They shoot really solid, but right now I'm just testing them at like indoor archery and 3D and stuff like that. I want to get a little more distance, but so far I haven't had any real issues going out to 100 plus with these arrows in either of these bows. So, and this one's going to be probably a little harsher, but I'm getting used to it. Yeah, there's a little bit more harshness to it, but not much. The only thing I worry about at this distance is splitting other arrows. You know, after a while your consistency gets so well turned in that I started splitting arrows almost immediately, but it just part of the game, I guess. Got to pay to play. But essentially though, I've got this one fairly well dialed, close to it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mess with it a little bit more and get all my axes set in and make sure that they're cherry as well. But for right now I have it to where it's shooting well, and then I'll change everything else. But for now, it's been a pretty solid shooter. and consistent. And I would say probably at some point I'm going to set up a speed test once I get my arrows down and kind of test it against the 80 pounder, probably sitting up at like that 78 that I normally set it up as, and then test this one probably about the 75 pound to 70 range and just see what fits the best. Still getting used to it, but I would say that the stability is there. It's just so much more square. I would say these new yokes that they put on here, or even just like the cable setup, just holds super firm. I get a lot less back and forth and hand torque with this setup. I do have some with my 8, and I do notice the difference almost immediately, how you can really just settle in. And honestly, I think anybody that's looking at like a 70 pound bow to an 80 pound bow, that you're so close in there, you could probably get an 80 pound bow if you're pretty yoked or whatever, and you like that stuff, because I like to shoot faster. It's not that I'm super ultra fit or anything like that, but I do like how much faster they can end up being, and getting that extra kinetic energy and everything like that. I know some people that shoot 90 pounds, and that's crazy to me, but I think that's awesome if you can shoot it and shoot it well. Like right now I'm shooting 75 pounds, and I honestly don't feel like it feels like a 75 to 80 range bow. It draws really smooth. It's a different draw. There is a little bit, I think maybe even front loaded on this bow compared to the 8, but the 8 was just so smooth and consistent that it's hard to compare. But as far as stability, I think this one takes the cake, along with the ability to tune out your arrows on your own as much as possible. If you're getting it too far and getting too crazy, of course you're gonna have to do the shim system or whatever, but a good starting point is starting with your shims. You get that squared away and it's good to go. And then once you have a couple of different variations in your arrow, you can start really dial it in with these limbs. So it's just interesting. More things that are just kind of coming up. I know the technology is getting more and more expensive, but it's hard to beat doing a lot of this stuff on your own and not paying for it, along with getting the experts at these shops that they can also help you dial it in with this with a little bit of help. But again, this bow's 75 pounds. I think I'm shooting about 480 grains, but it's zooming. But I feel like I possibly went a little too light on my overall spine, and this thing is just flinging them down there. But we'll see after a few tuning sessions and a couple of different other things. I also set up this R7 on it from Hamskea, and I would say this is dang near the closest thing that you're gonna get to perfection when it comes to Hamskea's rests. It's a good setup for different overall weight. It's a little bit lighter than what they've put out before. Everything is pretty much built the same as before, ball bearings, all that stuff, and it's just a real heavy duty shooting rest that's gonna hopefully last through a lot of heavy hunts and outdoor fun. So, but I really have kind of taken my time to go through the things that I like and kind of seeing how they hold up and everything like that. And honestly, this is holding up really well, at least for me. And I think backwoods hunting and things like that, I think the HHA and the Hoyt, along with this Hamskea rest, are going to be pretty hard to beat as far as just overall advantage in long-lasting, good working products. But I'm having a good time with it. I'm just messing with it. I really like it. It's been shooting really well for me. I haven't gotten the greatest groups because I try not to get them too tight right now. I've already broken, I think, 3 or 4 arrows, and that's just from getting it too tight at this 20 yards. But it's shooting really well. It's super consistent, and I can hold for a pretty decent amount of time. Still getting used to the overall, but it's still a shooter, and it's almost hard to not keep them from grouping after a while with this bow. But I'm still messing with the overall. I'm gonna get the HHA dialed in, and I'll do a little more in-depth overview on that, along with a little more in-depth overview on the RX10 Ultra versus the RX8 Ultra. I know that's not really the best comparison, but that's kind of the bows I have right now. And then I have another bow tech that I'm setting up and messing with, but we'll see. But overall, I think that this has become a staple in my shooting ability, is just taking my time and really going through all the products that are out on the, out there for archery, and really thinking about it and buying stuff. I know it's getting to the point where everything's really sort of expensive to participate at this level. But at the same time, I started with, really low-end bows, and just slowly learned what I liked and what's going to function for me. And I try to buy once, cry once, and then kind of go from there. But here, real quick, we'll show you a couple of. That's kind of what I got. The three grouped together are the ones I was trying not to group together super close, but I'm still kind of messing with it. I was spreading them out a little bit from the shots before, just trying not to hit the arrows. But ultimately, I think that it's going to be a good shooter. I have a lot more time to shoot it, and we'll figure it out from there. But I don't know. There's a lot of great bows out there on the market, a lot of great products, but I chose these particular products because they've proven to be durable. I liked the weight ratio. I do enjoy shooting carbon. It does seem a little bit quieter overall. But I honestly, if anybody created a product that could last and be beaten up in the backwoods and different things like that, I'd shoot that as well. The premium for the carbon is a little bit hard to swallow most of the time, and I think that even the new bows, the AX3 33s and stuff like that, because I do like the longer axle, and even just some of the new bows that are coming out, it's getting really hard to beat. The Sicario with its speed bow and stuff like that, that's pretty awesome stuff right there. And I think that the engineering is getting to that point. So no, I'm just excited. I think that everybody's trying to compete at this level. Oh, that's my attack pugs. But at the end of the day, I think people are going to buy whatever they want, but I bought my stuff just for that durability, and I'm just hoping that it'll last a long time. I hate spending money on stuff that ultimately breaks or I start having issues with. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that, especially in these backwoods hunts that cost you money to get out there, especially for elk, deer, where you're backpacking in, miles and miles, and you really are relying on all of your gear to perform and to perform well. But just messing around today. I think probably tomorrow I'm gonna go do some more in-depth videos. I'm gonna try to really go through the HHA, get that dialed in tomorrow. I really want this platform to shoot as best as possible before the season starts. I have gone back and forth between shooting this as just a hunting bow or an all-around bow, just because of the stability, along with everything else that goes with it. This thing is gonna be a real shooter, and honestly, I think it makes me a better shooter having some quality equipment. But yeah, that's just my quick little piece on the RX10 Ultra. And I'm just having fun, just making videos and showing gear. But if anybody ever has any questions, just reach out. I'd love to go through why I bought some of this stuff, what's the purpose in some of these things, the overall expense. I'll be pretty open with all of that kind of stuff, because I feel like everybody's investing a lot of money in hunting equipment and different things, and I can't afford to buy stuff that doesn't last me a really long time, and I can't have as a backup, or I can't eventually give to my family or sell to my family and friends that are also avid hunters and things like that, because I just want products that work and that are solid and that are going to continue to work. But you know, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed some of the video. I know it was just kind of boring watching me shoot bows, but it's kind of part of it right now. I'm getting stuff set up a little bit differently, but I'm in it to just have a little bit of fun. But thank you guys. Have a great day.